Hey guys, it's Skybird, and this is a little bit of a different video from what I was planning on doing, but we are going to be doing a quick review in this video as well. I think we're actually going to do that first, and then I want to talk a little bit about YouTube stuff, right? Now, the channel is not going to be changing, or at least the changes that are going to be made are for the better, because I've got a bit of a plan for the channel, and we are growing, so hey, that's cool. All right, so the quick review we're actually going to be taking a look at, because this character is missing a piece that I need to find for the full review, if you want to call it that, but is my Onua Mistika now with his blaster mounted to his chainsaw, because you know it had to get any better, right? No, I thought at first that this was a very gaudy weapon, but I also realized that this character wears the mask of strength, so it kind of plays to the character as well. So yes, in fact, he will be holding two chainsaws. That said, I designed this chainsaw specifically so that it could actually be rode on the character. He's got these little pieces on the back end right now, and all you do is just flip that pin to the other side, and then the actual chainsaw can dismount from this gun weapon and attach to the bottom of the foot, same as the other chainsaw will as well. So he can still ride his chainsaws in the same way as he did back in 2002, except this time the chainsaws actually work. They actually roll, which I think is fantastic. On top of that, the gun is still accessible from here. I just don't have any ammo in it right now because I didn't want to lose it on video. But yeah, I'm really happy with how he is coming out. Some subtle changes between him and the Pohatu build, of course, as all of my Mistika will have. And I'm planning on in the future potentially getting some custom masks for my Mistika builds so that when you guys are watching these videos, you get to see exactly what choice of mask that I make for these guys, because I'm really happy with the masks that I designed or that I modified from other designers as well. So with that out of the way, this is what the character looks like. I think he's kind of gorgeous, to be honest. His body is actually just a little bit shorter than Pohatu's, but he does have the longer legs because he is using the standard size of long double socket here rather than the short double socket. And I think that that works out in his favor. Maybe I would play around with the Ben 10 style of double socket that's a little bit shorter than this and attaching some armor to that, similar to how I did with the Pohatu set for the upper arms, and in theory that would make him about the same size as Pohatu height-wise, but I think technically he's a little bit taller than Pohatu. And you know, if you guys know the Onua Nuva and the Onua Mata, Onua and Pohatu are the shorties of the group, if you will. So really happy with the design of him, like I said, and of course keeping that trans dark green eye stalk. I would love to custom make, and maybe this is something I'll do in one of my resin casting videos, but to actually custom make a set of these eye stalks that either A, glows in the dark, or B, has a fluorescent quality to it. Just so that it picks up a little bit more light and glows under a black light especially, but something that's similar to this color so it's not alienating the character in and of itself. So he still needs some wings on the back end here, but he will have wings that attach to his shoulder, much in the way of his original set. And I may also decide to angle the back rockets, since on the original set they were also angled on the back of his legs, but we'll see. I don't know exactly what I want to do. All of my characters use the rocket on the back of the leg, so giving him a little bit of differentiation could work out in his favor and give him a little extra something, right? The last thing I wanted to mention is that the chainsaws can actually also mount to the back as well, using that same half pin that's in the foot. You can just move it up to the back and then attach the chainsaws, both of them side by side, to the back of the character as well. So he can carry them on his back, he can attach them to his feet, and of course he can attach them to the gun. And I think that that's a really cool and versatile way to use these weapons. The Onua Nuva obviously introduced the concept of double use weapons, if you will. So just taking that a step further in the future for the Mistika, I think, is an excellent use. And so all of my Mistika actually have weapons that can be used in ways very similar to their Nuva forms. That makes sense to me. So now to talk a little bit about the channel. First of all, this is unscripted, so I apologize for that, but I'm taking the channel in a slightly different direction, although there will always be reviews of the MOCs that I build, as well as building tutorials. That is not going to change. There are also going to be certain series of these types of builds, so when I'm doing an advanced build tutorial, for example, for something like a weapon, then you will see those in their own series. If I'm doing MOC builds of actual sets, then you'll see those in their own kind of series as well. Rahi builds, things like that. So each of those will have different series, though they will be very similar content overall, right? Different types of top-down builds depending on the size of the model that is being built. I also have plans to... Where did I put him? my big old Makuta guy. One of my most popular channels on my video is my build of the prototype Makuta, and I want to do a breakdown of that build as well. So I think that that's an excellent topic to do, but I've also turned that MOC into my self MOC. Since I am a Rahi designer, it just makes sense that my self MOC would be a Makuta, right? But he's one of the good ones, essentially. So my thought is that I'm going to do a review of my self MOC version of the prototype Makuta first, and then I am going to do a breakdown build of the original prototype Makuta as it stands. With that one out of the way, though, in terms of other content I have planned, of course, all of my Mistika will be getting videos of their own, as well as several, if not most, of my Rahi. At some point, I would like all of my Rahi to appear on this channel. The Borak Co build, which is sitting right here next to me. Let me go ahead and grab that for anybody who is unfamiliar, because this is an excellent build. Also, one of my top performing videos here is this build right here. I do have to change these front pieces out because I gave some of those to a friend here in blue. But this is my Krana incubator. This is capable of carrying 4 different Krana at a given time, and then it locks them in place with these shields here. So the shields go down, the windscreen goes over, it clips shut, and it locks all of those Krana in. It's also capable of carrying the mini Krana that come with those old Borak pins on the back here. I just found a way to connect it, so it works out. I just don't have mine anymore. I gave it to somebody, so works out well. But again, this will be in its own video here, probably an updated review, and then also a breakdown build for you guys, so you can make your own of these. And of course, it is available to be made in all of the different color variations for Borak as well. So always good stuff. So speaking about the channel specifically, I forgot to mention, I will also be doing a series on my I've got stuff on me, sorry, on my Creeps from the Deep series. So I have I think at least 10 to 15, I don't remember, I'll have to look at my my little paper again, but Rahi specifically designed for 2007, including some combination models. I have a combination of Idris and Sarda that doesn't use the blue Ruru, so you don't have to worry about spending a bunch of money if you want to recreate it, but that turns into a really cool bird. I've got a turtle build from Defilek and Dakar. I've got just a bunch of stuff. So I'm really, I can't wait to turn that one into a series. And I'm going for a little bit of a, I don't want to say a dark vibe with it, of course, but if you guys watched my last video I did on the Sarosa Barracuda, then you kind of know the vibe I was going for at the beginning of the video. I was just having fun, right? With that said, of course, the channel, the main focus is to have fun, is to relate with you guys, is to be as transparent as possible. I plan on putting a video out as to sort of how I've been able to ramp up the subscribers on this channel organically. I know that's not typically content that I would normally put forward on this channel because it's not really what I do. I do Bionicle stuff, but it's also useful content. So if you are looking to get into YouTube as well, then you'll have a resource to get into if you're within my niche or a niche very similar to mine, which is of course the Bionicle building, Lego building, whatever, right? So in terms of how I identify the channel as it stands right now, I would say that I'm in stage 1. What is stage 1? Well, stage 1 is mainly where I'm focusing specifically on my niche and putting out as much content as possible for you guys. That is revolving specifically around not just my niche, but my creations specifically, right? It's not so much about like reviewing other people's creations or doing builds that other people have designed. That's not to say that those won't be featured on the channel, because there are some amazingly talented mockists out there in the community, and I highly recommend you check some other builders out as well. But on this channel specifically, at least for now, at least for the foreseeable future, we'll be focusing on my MOCs specifically. For one thing, I have almost 200 Rahi. I plan on getting there before the year is out, and I've got a pretty big video that I have planned, so we'll hope it goes over well for you guys to actually decide which will be my 200th Rahi. We'll talk about that in that video. But outside of that, the rest of this phase, if you will, is if we continue on this trajectory that we are in, then we should actually be able to monetize this channel soon, which is a huge milestone. So I have to say thank you to everybody that is here. If you're not subscribed, you might as well subscribe if you like this type of content, because I will be producing plenty of it. And of course, it helps the channel out so we can get to phase 2 faster. What is phase 2? Well, phase 2 is where we don't just take a look at my own creations, but we'll also be broadening our scope a little bit. We'll be taking a look at more creations from other creators, as well as looking at Lego as a whole outside of just Bionicle, right? Bionicle is obviously our bread and butter. It is the main content that I focus on because it is the thing that I love about about Lego the most. But I have other interests in Lego as well, including Exoforce MOCs, which you can't see right now because they're out of screen, and other themes that I have loved, that I grew up with as a kid, that I was nostalgic for, and I would love to do some videos focused on those types of themes as well. So that is essentially where kind of my phase 2 goes. If you think about it, there are some other little plans I've got going here, as well as just coming up with bigger videos for you guys as well. So some more elaborate types of builds, including like builds on demand, like on camera builds and different challenges and things that I've got an idea for. One of them, I don't want to spoil the exact idea, but is essentially trying to create a Lego that can fly, but without motors. So this one's going to be an interesting one. It's going to be a fun experience. I've kind of got the wheels rolling in the background already. And so it is just getting that content out to you in a way, in a form that you guys can appreciate, and that you guys can sort of see the time that I put into it, and, you know, all the things that I've learned coming from Lego in general. I do have an idea for sort of a phase 3, but we're nowhere near there yet, so I'm not worried about that kind of content right now. I'll worry about that more as we continue to grow this channel. But anyway, if you guys did like this content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And something I haven't really mentioned is, if you have any critiques about the channel itself, about how many times I am like getting things in my eyes here, if you have any critiques, whether they are constructive, whether they are positive or negative, any sort of critiques with how videos are coming out recently, how they look, what is being covered, the topics being covered, etc. Let me know that in the comments, because the best way that we can grow is to communicate with each other, to bounce ideas off of each other. And so if you want to see this channel grow, then the best possible thing you can do is let me know what I'm doing right, let me know what I'm doing wrong, and then I will of course attempt to mitigate and fix those things for you guys. And also, this is a learning process for me as well. So I don't consider myself a great communicator, but every time that I talk to the camera, every time I turn it on, is just more experience with me talking to something else in front of me, so that I can present this information for you. So that's pretty much it for the video. As always, if you want to get a hold of me anywhere, you can obviously comment below. I do respond to every comment that I can. And of course, on top of that, you can check out my links to my Discord and Instagram in the description below. And also, as a little bonus, anybody who is subscribed to my Patreon, I know it's just a couple of you right now, but there is an exclusive Discord page, Discord channel on the server now for you guys, including some exclusive content. Some of the thumbnails that I've been designing here in recent days, I'm also actually turning into backgrounds for, you know, phones or whatever, PCs if you're on them, and posters if you want to print them out and do whatever you want with them, right? And, you know, maybe in the future we can invest some more into that if that's something that you guys enjoy. But for now, it's just content that you guys can get. Some of that stuff, of course, goes out free because I enjoy giving out free things, but I've got to keep some things exclusive for my patrons as well. So check out the channel on my Discord server as well, and maybe there'll be a couple days in the year or something where I let people just kind of see what's going on just for fun, right? So that's pretty much it, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.